Right, bad gag time. You're going to need some matches. Chuck us yours. Thank you. You need 2 of them. Sit down. So, 2 matches, one between your knees like that. Put the other one on the top like that, and go like that. Now you know what it feels like to be an elephant riding a scooter, or a fully grown adult riding a Sports 400. Such as this. Oh, it's actually the VFR400R, the NC30 from Honda. It was the first of the proper Sports 400s to hit these shores back in the very beginning of the 90s, maybe the very last year or so of the 80s. It was really pretty exclusive and expensive then, since which there's been loads of 400s launched. They actually brought this one in officially, then they went grey, then there's a whole load of grey imports. This, though, is probably still the only one that has a V4 engine. It's huge fun, and we're going to play on it. I feel huge. Makes you feel like Monster Man. I feel like John Wayne climbing onto a little tiny pony. And just like a proper little sports bike, you need to give it a really big handful of revs to move off from the start. Mind you, first gear is pretty tall, and once you've cleared that, the rest is easy. There's no doubt in that it's small, but it's only when you ride it do you realise how short it is. The front of the bike kind of disappears from below your field of view. You really are sat right over the front wheel. Now, it may have been small, but they packed a lot into the VFR400R. For a start, there is that V4 engine, a little 400 baby VFR engine, obviously, which gives it that lovely note and that huge amount of torque in the bottom range for what is a small engine. Then we had little radical tricks like the single-sided swinging arm, which on any bike was pretty rare then, and on something this tiny it was incredible. There's a really lovely alley frame, which is definitely worth a quick look. And then, of course, that proper race bike geometry, so you're right over the front wheel. All in all, it was pretty advanced. There was nothing else like it, certainly on the UK roads at the time. But above all else, it was and is about attitude, because when you climb on board, you've got to assume the position, Buster, with those rear sets, your head down, those low clip-on bars here at the front. Incredible braking. The size of the brakes on this thing would stop something 3 times its weight, no problem. The stripped out, almost naked cockpit up here, a real racer feel to it. And that's really what the whole 400 thing is all about, and that's why I like the idea of them, because there's something slightly naughty about it, a bit like having your first fag when you're perhaps a bit under 16. This bike clearly has no purpose other than going fast. There's nothing sensible or compromised about it. You can't tour. God knows you wouldn't want to sit on the back of the thing, and there's nowhere to put luggage. Even to the point of, if you've gone to the trouble of fitting a single-sided swinging arm at the back, why route the exhaust in front of it? Put it the other side. Let the world see. This is a racing bike for racers. Small racers, obviously. This particular bike hadn't yet been prepared for sale, and so it had a rather wobbly headstock, due I suspect to a dodgy bearing, and a very squared-off rear tyre, which made cornering a bit of an adventure. Nevertheless, the VFR's handling does shine through. There's no doubt that it is extremely flickable. It'll change direction quicker than you can plan it. The 400 sports bike class only exists at all because in Japan you have to take another test to ride a bigger bike. Therefore, they've squeezed every last iota of power from the 400 engine. Dealers over here soon realised that there was a bit of a market, and so the grey imports caught up, and eventually Honda stopped bringing the VFR in as an official import at all. Now, of course, there's a whole raft of 400s available. It might be a pocket rocket, but don't expect it to be that light on your wallet. This example on a J-plate, once all its little niggles have been put right, will set you back at a dealer the best part of £3 grand. You'll get it for less if you're really brutal with your dealer. And what could be better on the right day than getting out on a 400? Okay, any Sports 600 is probably going to beat it, but not in the hands of most of us. And with the VFR 400, you're also getting that rare thing in such a fast and frantic class. That's a bike with not only that extra torque from the V4, but also a little bit of heritage and pedigree.